That's low, right? That's very low.
Freaked out, dropped my phone in the pool again. Checked out of my room, hit the ATM. Check out if you're down to get down tonight. Cause it's always a good time. Morning and good night. I wake up at twilight. It's gonna be alright. We don't even have to try. It's always a good time.
Hey, Kim. Looking good. Looking good. Hello.
It's always a good time.
There's my man, DJ Marcus J in the house. Oh, Lacey's in a good mood. I see those moves. Cake and good moves. I love it. Marcus J, I love your style, my man. I'm addicted to 106. Nate, I am addicted. The 8 hours a day. You see you. Cool style, cool style. I love it. We're going to start in a couple of minutes, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you are excited and as happy as I am, please give me some hearts. It's going to be so much fun, this episode. Oh, we need PR row 1. PR row 1. Behind there. There we go. T-Max, welcome. To see you. Yeah, BJ Subtle in the house. To see you, man. To give back some of that sugar. Hello, Rachel. Thank you for joining us. Teresa Shy Boy, hey. Come on in, come on in. Sarah, looking good. Come on in. Gonna start in a minute. Come on in, all right, everyone. It's that time of the week now. Exciting time, episode 1 of season 2, the Tonight Show Starring Sherwin. All right, let's warm up those hearts first of all before we move forward. Let's see them hearts. I'm gonna ask for us, some handsome, to come out very, very soon. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is the Tonight Show Starring Sherwin. I'm your DJ Vaditron. It's Sherwin. Come on up, my man. There he is.
Yo, yo, yo. What is up, everybody? Just Nick, Shyboy, Armani, T-Mac. Oh, we got everybody up in here. Sasha, Princess. What is good? Alan. Hey, Austin. hey. Oh, yes. What's up, everybody? Season 2. Let's go. Yes. What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody in the building? Welcome back to the Tonight Show starring yours truly.
Yes, yes. Oh, well, week was really amazing. I had a vacation last week, so it was really relaxing and all that stuff. Went to mountains, some skiing and all that stuff, and really, really cool stuff. But and lots of hanging out, and with this whole space shutting down, of course, mixing feelings and everything. But you know what? I have great friends. I've never been to any other platform, confession. But I have great friends like City, Blue, C, and a bunch of other great friends that they're gonna take me around and show me how to use these other platforms and give me some introduction. But I'm very excited overall. Well, heartbroken but excited. I guess life goes on anyway. You had really busy week and so far a busy year. What have you been up to?
Yes, well, you already know. Well, thank you so much for sharing, by the way, Vad. And, let's give one more round of applause to DJ Vaditron, you guys. Been with us since the beginning. I'm seeing New York Knicks' beautiful face in the audience tonight. For those of you who don't know, we started this thing over a year ago, so to be able to see all this come full circle is so amazing. So shout out to everybody who's been a part of this journey. So, my break was amazing. As soon as we were done wrapping season 1, we jumped right into another production, and that was our big New Year's Eve party. Sherwin's rocking New Year's Eve. How many of y'all was there? It was such a good time. Let me tell you guys, we had such an amazing time that night. And I got to give a shout out to the one and only Kip York, you guys, because he created this amazing ball drop for us. We were in the middle of New York City. He created this amazing ball drop. Shout out to Blue Moon and City Girl and Sasha and Aussie and everybody who helped out. Big thanks to DJ Marcus J for DJing that night. We had an incredible time. So shout out to everybody with that. Now, speaking of Marcus J, we have 106.8, right? Radio for All Space. And he was our first person to take part in our station stop. Yes. So we were doing these live concerts at our radio station, and Marcus was the first one. I mean, we transformed the entire place into a bus stop. I mean, it really was amazing. So shout out to the whole 106.8 team for just creating an amazing event overall. Now, specifically, somebody on that team I want to give a shout out to is the one and only City Girl. Shout out to City Girl. Now, for those of you who were there, City Girl had her Kyle's Legacy nonprofit fundraising concert. So we actually went out. There were different performances. Soul G was there, Sir Saxy, and the iconic Nancy Fletcher from Death Row, y'all, was there headlining that performance. It was so much fun. And, at the same time, we were contributing to a great cause, which is finding a cure for canine cancer. So shout out to City Girl. Shout out to everybody who bought tickets and came out and supported. We had an absolutely amazing time. Now, switch directions a little bit. We introduced a new game show over the break as well. We introduced What's the Password, and we had our first winners. Wine Chick Kim, who is in the audience tonight, was our first winner alongside her partner, Peace Denise. This is a new game show because I know, Kiki Palmer's pregnant right now, so I'm taking over for her, you guys. I'm doing it in the metaverse. So if y'all haven't been there, Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, come out with a friend, play a game or two. It's going to be amazing. All right. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to the one and only Disco Jesus, who was our DJ last night at Tuesday Night Turn Up. You guys know that's always one of my favorite events, just vibing out, having good times, good music. And, we actually introduced a brand new world. So shout out to the one and only Miss Peeps who built us this brand new club. And I mean, look how amazing it is, y'all. I mean, the lights, everything, the red, because you know Miss Peeps, she like a little bit of red in her world. It was amazing. We love red too, and we're in love with this. So thank you so much, Miss Peeps. And funny that I bring up Miss Peeps because this next person that we actually have tonight on our show was introduced by from Miss Peeps. Call them world hopping, and that person is the one and only Queen of Comedy herself, Miss Laura. She is backstage right now, y'all. Have to admit, I am a little nervous because Miss Laura is a queen, and I just want to make sure we give her the most amazing experience here tonight. So shout out to Miss Laura for coming out to see all of you guys. I'm just so grateful and humbled by this. So I am so excited. Vad, you ready for tonight?
I am so ready. And I tell you one thing, we started almost exactly a year ago with you in New York, and this is like an anniversary for us. So I'm so
It
excited
is.
and ready for this whole show.
Yes. It really is. Coming full circle, y'all.
Figure out and have fun.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna get hyphy later with Miss Laura. For those of you who don't know what hyphy is, don't worry about it. Me and Miss Laura from the Bay, so you don't gotta worry about that. Now, but before we get into it, y'all, we got our daily dish. Now, you guys know this is one of my favorite parts of the show, where I get to dive into politics, pop culture, everything in between. And I gotta give a shout out to Black Sage because first of all, we have a new team member. His name is Black Sage. He's our new videographer. Yes, shout out to Black Sage. And he actually suggested to me to introduce this new segment because it's Black History Month. For those of you who don't know, it's Black History Month. And what I want to do for every show this month is introduce a different historical figure in Black history to you guys and give some background on them. So this week, I decided to pick out the one and only Marianne Stokes. So hearts up if y'all know who this person is right here, Marianne. Okay. I see a couple people with their hearts up. I see a couple people, not bad. So Marianne Stokes is the OG television and telecast producer. She was an activist, but what she was most known for was preserving televisual history. So, essentially she was the ultimate receipt queen, okay? She had all the receipts, all right? Because she spent 35 years recording hundreds of thousands of hours of television on her VCR. So everyone out there who has recorded a secret sex tape, Kim and Ray J, just know Marianne probably has a copy of it somewhere, okay? Now, she was also known to be a compulsive hoarder. Now, this is a known fact. She was a compulsive hoarder. She would hoard everything from Macintosh laptops to VCRs, computers, tapes, so many other things. But it was so bad that she made the show Extreme Hoarders look like it was a hobby, okay? I mean, come on now. Now, shout out to Marianne because I just have to say, because of her work that Marianne has done, we got to give a shout out to Marianne. Can y'all hear me okay, by the way? Hearts up if y'all can hear me. My apologies if my connection's going in and out. All right, good. So I just got to give a shout out to Marianne because she is the ultimate trailblazer. She's introduced so many different things, and if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be able to record the Tonight Show and put it out there for everybody to see. So I got to give a shout out to Marianne Stokes, y'all, because she is a true trailblazer in Black history. So hearts up for Marianne, y'all. Hearts up for Marianne. Now, we're going to switch directions a little bit. Different note. A different historical moment that happened this past week was Biden actually gave his State of the Union address. So you guys all know the State of the Union, right? This happens once every year where he addresses the entire Congress, right? And it's really no different from every year, right? I mean, he's talking about wanting bipartisanship and wanting Democrats and Republicans to work together. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's like asking McDonald's to reinstate their potato waffles, okay? It's just not going to happen, all right? I don't know why they keep trying, all right? But you know what? Biden's approval rating, this is really funny, you guys, because Biden's approval rating went up only 1% from his last State of the Union speech. So, last year he was at 41% approval rating, and this year he's at 42%, which, if you ask me, it's a little sad because that's like being on the keto diet for a year and only losing 1 pound. I mean, it's like, get out of here, Or it's like when you have a headache and you go to the doctor and they tell you go home and take 1 Advil. Like, get the hell out of here with 1 Advil. Like, that's not going to do anything. Now, amongst other things in his speech. He talked about passing his new infrastructure bill. He talked about reducing inflation and finally convincing Tom Brady to retire for a second time. I mean, thank God, right? For real. Been about time. Now, something that wasn't on the agenda was North Korea. Now, North Korea wasn't on the agenda, no. You know why, right? Because Kim Jong-un actually just recently reappeared after 36 days of not being seen. So when he came out of hibernation, he saw his shadow and declared 6 more decades of dictatorship. I mean, simple as that. Now, someone who was not happy with was Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, she was not happy during this whole speech. We all Marjorie Taylor Greene, right-wing conspiracy theorist, right? She was seen in the audience. She was booing and she was heckling during Biden's speech, which, if you ask me, I don't know what's worse, all of her heckling and booing or the fact that she stole a coat from Mary J. Blige's closet and thought that we wouldn't notice. Okay? Come on now. BET. Come on. It's Black History Month. Let's go. Speaking of Mary, now this past weekend was also the 65th annual Grammy Awards. That's to the Grammys. Yes, who watched the Grammys? Okay, a couple people. Not bad. So when I flipped on my, I flipped on my TV and I put on CBS and I turned on the Grammys. I thought I was watching the Grammys until I saw Shania Twain walk out and I thought I was watching The Bride of Chucky from Child's Play. I mean, I don't know what the hell was going on, if you ask me. So amongst all the winners, there were amazing people. I mean, Bonnie Wright was a winner. Lizzo won for My Song, About Damn Time. I love that song. Beyonce won a couple awards. Harry Styles was the big winner. He won Album of the Year with his album. But you know who the real winner was? It was Beyonce, because she now holds the record for the most Grammy wins by anyone in the world. Shout out to Queen Bee. I mean, that is an amazing accomplishment. And what's so funny is at the same time that she did all this, she also had time to announce that she was going on tour for her new album, Renaissance. Everybody saw that, right? Her new Renaissance tour that's going on. Now, her fans are a little bit disappointed in her, though. You know why? Because, she has her tickets out for sale, and they're starting at $950 just to get nosebleed seats. So, yeah, exactly. It's crazy. So, I mean, if you're going to buy tickets, I'm sure it's going to be fun. You'll be in the audience. You'll be chilling, but you'll definitely be singing along. You just broke my hole. You just broke my wallet. You just made me broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be singing along. Like, now, that is it for my daily dish. I hope y'all enjoyed. Now, let's get right into it, y'all, because I am so excited for this next person on my show. She is queens of comedy. You might have seen her on Beauty Shop. You might have seen her on In the Cut. I mean, she is an absolute icon. Let's go ahead and bring her out. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Laura Hayes. Come on over, Miss Laura. Yes. Get those emojis rolling.
Yeah, let me get it. Let me see. Need to back up. Up. How's this, guys?
That's me.
Thank you.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Miss Laura Hayes. Thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight. First of all, like I said, I hope you enjoyed my monologue. What did you think? I need your honest opinion. What did you think?
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. That's a big compliment coming from the queen of comedy herself, y'all. To Miss Laura. Yes. Now, first of all, Miss Laura, welcome to the show. I know you've been in the metaverse for just a little bit now. So tell me, how did you first hear about, alt space and get into the metaverse? How has it been treating you? Because I know you came in here with the intention of wanting to bring your business in here and learn more about it. So how has it been going for you?
Well, I actually didn't know what it was going to be like, but the way I got into it, I was in a room on Clubhouse. My girlfriend who runs the Comedy Store had a room on Clubhouse, and she was doing a virtual comedy show where the comedians were actually holograms. So that's how I got introduced to the metaverse. I had never heard about it. So once I got in, I saw that it was something I need to get up on.
Yes, absolutely. And ever since you've been here, I mean, you've brought so much positivity, and just being on the show tonight and everybody here getting to see you has been amazing because I know that means a lot to everybody. So thank you again.
It's my
Now,
pleasure. Well, the
with the
thing
last.
for instance, the word progression means to take something to another state. And to me, that's what the metaverse is. It's a way to pursue our financial, creative endeavors,
Yes.
just like we used to have a rotary phone. We and dial all the way around. Then that went to
Hmm.
phone booth and then to cell phones. This is just a progression of communication.
And
I
we're the
love
early
it.
adapters. I mean, we're the first people to really even try it out and be in this space because trust and believe you guys, in 10 years, 20 years from now, this is going to be the norm. I feel like people are going to be on the headset, meeting people from
Mm-hmm.
all around the world,
Mm-hmm.
doing business, right? I mean, it's going to be booming. I know
Yeah.
it's going to be booming because look at what's going on right now with just us, right? And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
what a lot of people don't know about you, Miss Laura, and what people don't know about me is that both of us are Bay Area, born and raised. I mean, you're actually not born in the Bay Area. You moved to Oakland, right? A little bit earlier on in your childhood. Is that
I
correct?
was born in Richmond and at 5 years old went to Oakland. So I was raised in
Yes.
Oakland.
We're raised in Oakland. Now, tell me about your upbringing because you and I talked about this. I know, you had a really interesting upbringing because, at a very young age, you fell in love with some guy, and he
Yeah,
became your
well,
boyfriend.
yes. I At age 13, of course, you get your first boyfriend, and we were together. Now, mind you, the only thing I ever wanted to be in life was a wife and mother. I thought I was
Mm,
on my way to that dream, right? So I got my little, boyfriend when I was 13. At 18, we moved out and lived together. 19, I had my first child. I was on my way to this White House with the picket fence. He worked at the post office and he comes home one day and announced to me that he was about to be a pimp. Now,
mm.
I had no idea what that really entailed, but I wound up following him because I figured he was going through some kind of crisis or something and he would get over it. And he promised, he was like, I'm just going to do this long enough, so we could get house. And being a box of rocks at that time, I went along with it. Well, eventually it kept going on and on, this whole world. Now I got to give it to him. He did try to keep me out of it. He never
Mm.
wanted to be involved in anything that he was doing. But my dumb ass, I felt left out. They was all
Mm.
in the living room having fun,
That
smoking
FOMO.
cigarettes, bagging dope, and I'm in the room
Hmm.
by myself. So I actually uh, um, brought myself into it for two reasons. For reason is I thought that I could uh, bring him back to the regular world. So my whole mission was I was gonna get rid of all them hoes. I was about to tear down his pimpdom was coming down. So I wound
Yeah.
up following him into the street life, and there was a couple of girls who were friends of mine who would sell me clothes, and they were boosters. And I talked them into teaching me how to boost. And from that point on, I was kind of just in that life.
Mm.
But
So,
there came a time when I knew that it was dangerous enough for me and my children that I had to make a choice. And I wound up leaving the man I had been with for 20 years. Not knowing what I was going to do. I had no skills except for being a thief. So I went back to school, started
mm.
taking every class imaginable, wound up in a theater arts class and followed it from there.
And just so people, maybe get an idea of what you meant by boosting. Like, what are some things that you would boost, like, so people know?
I only boosted women's clothes. So I'm sorry,
Mm.
ladies, I may be part of the problem why clothing went up so high. They did have a high rate of missing items. Yeah,
You made
I
that
mainly
premium go
did
up.
women's clothes, and if I got lucky, I could find, I would do furs, stuff like that. But, nothing like jewelry or, other stuff.
Mm.
Then I would take
Nothing
it
too
to a
crazy.
fence and sell it.
But even with the furs and everything, you told me, I think you said you've been incarcerated several times growing up. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How
I
was that
did.
feeling? Like, what go ahead.
Well, the thing is, by this time, by the first time I got arrested, I was into the life. You get arrested, your man come bail you out, you pay a lawyer, you do whatever, and you go back to doing what you were doing. And that's
Mm.
kind of like how it was going. I was getting busted here and there, but I ain't trip, because I knew he was gonna bail me out and we was gonna have it all fixed. But there came that day that I got arrested for something I didn't do, but I looked
Mm.
guilty. And that was the hardest time I did. But I also knew that that was the turning point. That was the point I knew when I got out this time. I was like, I'm going to have to find something else the fuck to do because I'm not coming back here. Especially
You know
because
what?
the reason I didn't do it, I had stopped boosting, and I
Mm.
took a friend who was a booster shopping. I paid for everything. I had money for all the stuff that I bought, but she didn't. So when she walked out the store and they knew we were together, even though I had receipts, it did not matter because I had record and they was gonna get me. And they did.
Mm.
But it was life changing. I don't regret it.
It's
I
life
think if I
changing.
hadn't been busted for something I didn't do, I probably may not have changed my life.
I always say everything happens for a reason. And Miss Laura, I feel like your past and everything that's happened to you, I mean, that was the wake up call that you needed. Because, like you said, after that, you really
Absolutely.
realized what your real passion was, which was being in comedy, acting, performing arts, right? Theater, all those things. And you ended up going to
Hmm.
school for performing arts and studying theater. And then, fast forward to, you know, your first real big gig, which was with Def Jam, right? You went on tour, you did stand-up comedy with Def Jam for a minute, right? How did you get that connection?
Well, the first really big thing that happened, I want to say, when I finally relocated to LA, I had already gotten into stand up comedy. I had done the Apollo, which confirmed
Mm.
for me that I was able to do it. Because if you get through an Apollo audience, you guaranteed to know you got some kind of chance in what you're doing.
Mm.
And when I moved to LA, that's when I got the gig on Comic View. That's where I met Martin and Sinbad. So those shows were some of the big things that happened in the beginning.
Yes. And we have a couple of slides on that as well. But before we get to that, let's just show everybody a clip of you and doing your stand up at very, very early on in your career. This was with Def Jam. So let's go ahead and take a look. Laura Hayes playing no games, y'all.
I'm from a big family of girls, we've been, raised to stick together. Yeah, they all big too. Yeah, but you know how your sisters and your girlfriends won't tell you when your man fooling around? Oh, we tell, baby. Go right to the phone. Hey, sis? Yeah, motherfucker down at the mall. Oh, no, you right. You right. That's disrespectful. Mr. Motherfucker down at the mall. Yeah, girl, with some friends. I think she's around there. See, every time when there's a problem, my mother's the dispatcher. She'll dispatch us out whenever there's a problem. She'll get right on the phone. Laura, Bertha, Eula, Ruthie, get on over to Alice's house. That nigga done read a black man guide. So we jump in the car and we roll it. And I got 1,000 pounds riding with me, goddammit. We slapping five over the seat and shit. Get to my baby sister's house and this nigga's just about to swing. I go, oh no, motherfucker, not today, goddammit. Fuck that.
Yes. Now, y'all, just some emojis. That is an iconic bit. I mean, and that was, let's just be honest, you guys. I mean, that is the bit that everybody knows you for. I mean, that was like your signature bit. You've done that all the time. I
Yes.
mean, that is just one of your funniest jokes. So tell me about that story that actually happened. I mean, is that a real story or based off a real story?
It's based off a real story, but the first time that I took my wig off stage, now mind you, I'm coming from the street life, right? So I done found this entertainment passion. I'm hosting a show. I mean, I'm still rough around the edges as far as street. I'm hosting a show, and there was a man heckling me in the audience, and he wouldn't shut the fuck up. Okay? So I tried to ignore him, and he just automatic thing because I lunged at him before I knew it. I used to have a real bad temper. I lunged at him, but before I lunged at him, I took the wig off because that's what we did in the hood. When you ready to get down, you take your hair off because back then wigs was expensive, baby. You ain't about to get that all roughed up. So I'm hosting the show. I pulled the wig off and I jumped at him right. By this time, my sisters then got up and, everything is a rumble. They stopped me before I get to him. So when things calmed down, my manager said, he was like, oh, wow, I like that bit. That was funny. And I was like, what bit? I'm standing there combing my wig to put it back on because I wasn't even tripping on it, right? So I started telling the story of how, and which is true, if there was some shit going on at the house, mama will call when you're done. My mama would say, don't call nobody till you're through. If you're through with that person, then call, right? So mama would call and we would literally go over there, not only break up the fight, but we might take all that motherfucker's clothes and drop him off somewhere. It was just a thing. You take it off and you set it to the side or you put it in your back pocket like a cleaning rag. So that became, yes, my signature bit based off reality.
I love it. And it's still today one of the funniest bits that I've seen. I mean, it's incredible. Now, like you mentioned earlier, I mean, you moved to Hollywood, right? And you met people like Sinbad, Martin Lawrence, right? These amazing comedians. What is some advice that they gave you early on in your career that still sticks with you today that you remember about them?
Well, because I did still have a rough edge about me. One of the things I think they both advised me of was basically, bitch, chill the fuck out. Don't be bringing all that street gangster shit up in here. You're going to need to, follow some kind of rules. So they kind of helped me realize that I couldn't, there was a way to do things here. And so, I followed and they were correct. There is a way to do things. But one thing I got to say about both of these gentlemen is when I met them, they liked what I did and they both promised to hook me up if they got hooked up. And they both kept their promises.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I can say most of my gigs came from people who hooked me up.
Yes. I mean, and I know the community is so tight, amongst all the comedians out there. And that's amazing that they just look out for you. I mean, it's incredible. And like you said earlier, BET Comic View became one of the first really big platforms that you ended up going on and really being known in the LA scene, right? And you also took part in a bunch of cameos like Meet the Browns. I mean, we all know Tyler Perry Productions. I mean, huge, huge, huge. So tell me about your experiences, like when you first started off in your career. Like, what were some of the cameos that people would throw at you? What were some of the roles that you would want to play? Tell me about your early on career.
Most of the roles were definitely just a variety of roles that I wanted to play. I also was lucky enough and blessed enough that the people that I worked with were so great and so giving all throughout my career. So I got a chance to do that with several of the shows I did guest appearances on.
Anyone in particular that stands out to you as somebody that really helped you along the way when you first started?
Uh, well, see, I had to say everybody. Everybody.
Yeah,
Now
shout out
I
to
have
all
to
of them.
start with Martin because when he made me Cole's mother, he let them know that he did not want me to audition, that he was giving me the role. But
Oh,
everybody, I'm telling you, I've been blessed in that. The sisters and brothers I've been involved with have just went above and beyond to not only help me through being acclimated into that world, but even on personal levels.
yes. And we have a fun game, you guys, by the way. Stay tuned because we do have a fun game later where we're going to actually run through some of Miss Laura's colleagues and see what she thinks of all of them. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. Now, after all of this happened, right? Comic View, you've been doing these cameos, it's all been going great. You get this huge, huge role, right? You get this phone call, and somebody asks you to be a part of the Queens of Comedy. Now, first of all, hearts up if y'all have seen the Queens of Comedy because this is a Grammy nominated, I mean, huge, huge production. Monique, some more, Adele Givens, Miss Laura. I mean, tell me, how did this all come about? Did you get a phone call? Who called you? And did you hesitate when you got the phone call?
Okay, so this what happened. Actually, the Queens of Comedy had already been doing some dates. The original Queens of Comedy was Monique, some more, Adele, and Myra J, who was a DJ on Join the Morning Show. But there came a time that what I was told was Myra was doing so much with Tom that she couldn't do all those dates. So what they decided to do was hold kind of like auditions. So they called my agent and they had asked several comedians to come and host some shows to see how everything gelled. And so I went to audition and the ladies chose me as their host.
Hmm. Yes. And did you know any of the ladies beforehand, or was that your first time meeting all of them?
Oh my God, yes, some of us had been through the real struggle together. You know, that
Yes.
being on tour, sharing a can of tuna and some crackers, that type of thing. If we didn't do it with each other, we sure had the experience with other comedians. So I knew them from way back. I met some more on Comic View when she hosted. Adele, I met at
Yes.
Def Jam. We stayed very, very close. I forgot where me and Monique met. I think we met at Def Jam also. But
Mm.
hesitation? No way. This was like the perfect gig. I knew it was going to
Mm.
be all that it was to me. I knew it was going to be. I knew I was going to have the time of my fucking life.
You sure did. I mean, y'all, if you haven't seen it, you guys need to check out the entire thing. But just in case you guys want to see a little bit of Miss Laura's bit, let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Laura
Damn,
from
brothers,
the
y'all got some
Queens
good
of
lines.
Comedy.
Uh-uh. Don't act like you don't know. You know how we be at your apartment, house, wherever you live, and you be trying to get a little pussy. And that's okay. That's okay. That's cool. It's normal. A man is gonna try. But we ain't ready to give you none. And we got to go. But you don't want us to leave, so you're gonna try to make us feel guilty. Uh, girl, you leaving? How you gonna leave? You gonna leave me like this? Touch it, it ain't never been this big, it ain't never been this hard. And this has got to be the best line of all. Just let me put the head in.
Look at those emojis, Miss Laura. Look at those emojis.
Just let you put the head in. Do you know how many times I let a nigga put the head in? I got 2 babies by the head.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Laura from Queens of Comedy. Oh my goodness. Well,
Okay,
first
you
of all,
guys, I gotta tell you, I have never seen the Queens of Comedy. And this is why. For
wow.
some weird ass reason, I cannot. I watched the Def Jam clip because I done got used to it. I have to hear it first, and sometimes I have to kind of sneak up on it to watch it. But the Queens of Comedy, I have never watched because when I watch myself do stand up, I, I can get almost physically fucking ill. I can watch
Mm.
myself acting, and I didn't know what the fuck is, but it's real for me. And when I found out Johnny Depp has the same thing happens to him when he's doing movies, then I kind of felt better. I said, okay, it's just a quirky human thing, and I just happen to have it. One
Mm.
day I'm gonna watch. One day I'm gonna get high, sit down with a bunch of friends, and I'm gonna watch the shit.
And you should. I mean, deservedly so. I mean, it's so funny. You need to watch it. We've all watched it. So once you watch it, let us know what you think, and we'll all get together,
Oh,
talk
thank
about it.
you. Thank you.
Now, I want to go back to these amazing ladies that you work with because I'm sure behind the scenes there were some funny moments that happened while you were on tour with them. Now, what were some of these moments? Like, what were some things that you guys would talk about, behind the curtain before you would go out?
Damn, brothers, y'all.
Well, you mean like when we was at the hotel and stuff?
Yeah, at the hotel, behind
Uh-oh,
backstage.
what
I mean,
happened?
what was the vibe like?
Oh my God. Let me see. Put your 3 of your best friends and y'all get to hang out, go places, stay in hotels, do what you love, meet
Mm,
people all over who support you. Ain't nobody tripping, ain't no diva shit. Everybody's down for each other. What the fuck? I get so lucky. But the vibe
mm,
backstage was when we were together and we weren't on stage. We were usually in somebody's room talking about real life shit, husbands, boyfriends, kids, bills,
mm.
desires of other things we want to do. But that was a time when Friday came. I couldn't wait till Friday came because I knew I was gonna get to kick it with these bitches.
Yes. I mean, hanging out with your friends and also working with them, I'm sure it's a blast. But no, now I'm curious to get your opinion on this because like the vibe was so good. Do you think it's still that this way today? Because I feel like there's a lot of word about, people being competitive and people trying to take other people's roles away or, doing some shady stuff behind the scenes. I mean, do you think that vibe is still like that today or do you think it's become more competitive? Because remember, I don't know if you guys heard, but I think Monique had some situation with not being paid enough and Amy Schumer was getting paid more and there was that situation, right? So do you think over time that it's actually gotten more competitive when it comes to these roles?
Yeah, I think it's gotten more competitive because now we have social media, and then you can
Mm,
basically make yourself a star if you get enough numbers and support from people.
right. Absolutely. And
Hmm.
after the Queens of Comedy happened, and that was huge for you. But one of my favorite things that I've seen you in, which was Beauty Shop. Now, how many of you guys have seen this movie, Beauty Shop, with Queen Latifah? So many people. I mean, this was an iconic movie. Like I've seen it, I think about 15 times, 20 times. I don't know. I've lost track, but it's so amazing. And you play Queen Latifah's mother-in-law. So you play
Yes.
Keisha Knight
Mhm.
Pulliam mom, and you play Queen Latifah's mother-in-law.
Right.
Tell me about how you got this role. Was this another role that you auditioned for, or was this a role that they reached out to you? And also, I mean, the cast is amazing. I mean, I see the list of people. I mean, you got Sherry Shepherd, Queen Latifah, Keisha Knight Pulliam, every Lisa Ray. I
Alfre
mean, you got so
Woodard,
many people. Kimora Lee. I mean, exactly. Just
Alicia
Adele
Still
Givens is in it.
Silverstone,
Yeah,
huh?
tell me. I mean, even Adele Givens. I
Well,
mean, most of your queens of comedy were
yeah,
in there too, right?
Adele, yes,
Yeah.
everybody. The way I got this role, I actually did audition. But here's the
Mm.
weird thing. I was auditioning for Alfre Woodard's role, right?
Okay.
And so I went through the whole audition process and I went to the reading and they said, we want you to do another role. And so I'm like, oh shit, I don't give a fuck. Whatever it is, I'm down to do it. So they made me the mother-in-law, which I enjoyed. I won't say so much more, but it was more compatible to who I was at that
You
time.
were.
But
Yes.
yeah, it was an all-star cast.
Love that.
And,
And when you read a
and
script, I
Latifah,
mean,
baby, she was a realist, okay? Got
mm.
first class type shit treatment. Lobster for dinner and shit. It was
Yes.
I've been lucky with the people I've worked with my whole career. Now the promoters and
Mhm.
producers, them some other motherfuckers.
That is too funny. And would you know what? Because of that, you went on to produce your own short film, right? Because you're like, I don't want to mess with these producers. So now you're like, I'm gonna go out, produce, and direct my own short film called Virus. And you actually premiered it and showed it at the I believe it was the NBC Short Film Festival Awards, right? And it won
Right.
2 awards, which is huge. I mean, congratulations on that. Tell everybody what the
Yeah.
premise of that short film was and why you got into producing and writing and directing.
Well, okay, it was the accident that I got into it. So this what had happened. Okay, I had just gotten into the whole computer world, right? And I'm sitting down at the kitchen table one morning and and computer does not come on and I realized I had a virus. And it was so when the computer didn't come on, it was so emotional for me because I had and so at that moment I decided to take the emotion over the top. So I went in the living room, I grabbed my jail blanket that I crocheted when I was in jail, and I put it over my shoulder. I turned on the camera and I'm crying and shit, and I'm talking about as if it's my man who has just been given a terminal diagnosis. He has a virus. And I did it in one take, right? So I liked that I did it, but I wasn't thinking about doing anything with it. So I shared it with a few friends, and one a comedian that was starting out with the Shortcut Film Festival encouraged me to, and I did. So it won 2 of the 3 prizes, which was best
Yes.
and most. But it was totally a fluke. But it also that's where the passion came for directing and editing and stuff like
Mm,
that. Yeah.
love that. And it's so funny because we were talking about this, earlier. You say when it comes to, your stand-up comedy, it's hard for you to watch it, but when it comes to your acting, you say it's so much easier for you to rewatch it and watch your scenes. Isn't that right?
Yes. It is. It's so weird. And I don't know if it's like I feel like it's not me that I'm watching.
Mm.
I don't know.
Well, you know what? Because of your amazing acting skills, you were able to get a reoccurring role on this TV show called In the Cut. Shout out to In the Cut. I don't know if you
Oh
guys have
yeah,
seen this or
yeah.
not. It is so funny. Now, tell me about how this all came together because you actually were on this for not just one season. I believe you were on for multiple seasons, right? You were on for,
6
quite some time. Tell
seasons.
me about 6 seasons. Wow. Tell me about like that whole
Uh-huh.
process, how that came together, and did you audition for that as well, or did you get a call?
Well, what had happened again? I was at my friends Clayton and Tangerine's wedding. As I'm walking to the door, executive producer Bentley Kyle Evans, who worked on the Jamie Foxx show and Martin and some other shows, he we clashed with each other coming in the door, and he opened the door for me. He said, "Hey, Miss, how you doing?" I said, "Hey, Bentley, how you doing?" He said, "You know, I got something for you. We need to talk." And this what it was. It was being a part of In the Cut as Mabel, who owned Mabel Tables um, in the sitcom. Yeah, another
Yes.
hookup, right place, right time. You know, as long
Right
as you're
place,
not,
right
it's more
time.
important.
Oh no, I think her internet must have crashed, y'all. Do y'all see her still? Did she just disappear?
No, she's gone
So
for me.
while she's getting back in here, let's go ahead and take a look at the clip from In the Cut. So this is Miss Laura Hayes from In the Cut.
Hey guys, I'm sorry I was late, but I tell you that traffic was a
Come on back, Miss Laura.
beast. All right, I don't need that. Okay, who got next? You got next?
No, I only deal with Smitty. Thank you.
Did I ask you your life history? No. I asked you where you next, and you look like you next. Get in the chair, dude.
Yeah, yeah, Mabel. Can I ask you a quick question? What the hell are you doing here?
You ain't never seen nobody cut hair before.
Yeah, well, actually, I have. Yeah, but you don't work here.
Smitty thought his job was harder than mine, so we made a bet to switch jobs. You got a problem with that? Yeah, Jay, you got a problem with that?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's Laura Hayes in the cut. Now, what you had your little technical difficulty there. We played it for everybody now. This is one of my favorite scenes because this is the scene where you and your husband actually switch roles, right? So he ends up
Right,
taking over
boyfriend.
your restaurant, and you ended up taking over his barbershop for a day. Tell me about
Right,
like
right.
first of all, tell me about how these scenes come together. Is it a lot of improv that's happening throughout the scene, or is it very by the script?
It's well, we're given a script, but we're also given the okay to expand or improv some things. So yeah, a lot of it is improv, but most of it is
Mhm.
based on a written script.
And I mean, you've learned so much from all these years of acting. I mean, starting from all the way from your cameos to Beauty Shop to now In the Cut. Like, what are some lessons that you've learned, like that you could tell yourself? Like, let's say you were talking to yourself when you first started, acting and being in the business. What is some advice you would have given yourself today?
I probably would give myself the advice of um, to just keep moving forward in what I love to do without getting hung up or sidetracked about
Mhm.
the drama that can be in entertainment, period. 'Cause it
Right.
took me a while to not get involved with the drama. You believe everybody, you think, these are people you saw on TV before you got into business, and you think, but then you learn that they're not. You're tell myself to just sit back and observe because people eventually reveal who they are. Treat them
Mm.
accordingly.
Absolutely. And I think that's a lesson for life in general, not just for being in acting. I mean, I always say I treat people the way I want to be treated, right? And you always know,
Right.
especially with everybody that you've interacted with in your career. I mean, with Queens of Comedy to Martin and Sinbad and all these people we've talked about today. I mean, they saw who you really were, right? And the way they treated you
Yeah.
and the way you treated them, it shows real community, it shows real friendship. And these people you'll probably be able to call today still and have the same conversations that you would have
Wait
had
a
if it
minute. You
was
kind of
15,
broke
20
up.
years
You're in the
ago.
Matrix. What's happening?
Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. In the Matrix still? Yeah, it's hard to
You
if y'all
guys
can
hear?
hear me
Okay,
because I know I got some
break
messages.
up.
There we go. Y'all hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it kind of. Yes, the guy. I got you.
Okay. So we're gonna play a game, Miss Laura. I have a fun little game for us. I have a couple games for us, but this first game I want to play with you is called First Impressions. All right. Now, the way
Okay.
this game
Okay.
works is I'm going to show you a picture of somebody that you've worked with, or maybe somebody that you've just been inspired by. Okay. You're going to tell me your first impression of them, or even maybe your favorite memory with, especially the ones that you know very well. Okay. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the one and only Monique. Talk to me about Monique.
Baby, baby, baby. Let me tell you something. If there, Monique is going to always fight for justice and fairness. That is one thing I love about her. When she got her show and she started touring, she did and made the promoters pay her equally to what the men were getting who had TV shows. And by her
Mm,
standing up for that, which was right, it was only fucking right, but because she did that, that trickled down to some of us other comedians. And when promoters, when they came at us, they came at us a little bit more correct and with a little bit more respect. Now, there are,
yes.
I mean, this is one dynamic sister. There are a
Mm,
whole lot of ways she affected my personal life, and people don't really like you when they, help you out with things or do whatever. They don't necessarily want everybody to know. So I'm not gonna
right.
recount those things, but I'm gonna just tell you is a wonderful sister and friend. And she ain't no bullshit and she don't give a fuck about Hollywood. She gonna go for what's right.
Yes. Absolutely. And she even went on and won an Academy Award. I mean, she's an incredible actress. I mean, she really is. So shout out to Monique, y'all. Now let's look at the
Yeah, I
next
heard her
person on the
last
screen.
piece is dynamic too.
Yes,
I
yes,
heard this
yes. I
last
mean, she's
movie that just came out. They say she is good as shit. I can't wait to see it.
listen, Monique can act, you guys. Monique can really act. You need to check her out. Don't sleep on
Look
Monique
at that
now.
gray hair. It's
All right.
beautiful.
Let's take a look at the next person, Kim Whitley. Tell me your thoughts about Kim. She's funny.
That's Dimply Kim Whitley. Oh my God. Yes, just another dynamic. I'm just, hey, I know I got some dynamic people in my life, especially the sisters. Me and Kim don't get to hang as much as we did when we first met, but whenever I run into her, it is all love. She
Yes.
crazy as fuck too. Thinks she crazy on TV. She
Yes.
does a crazy job.
And she's doing her show, I think, with Sherry Shepherd, the Two Moms show on her YouTube channel, and that's funny too. If y'all haven't seen it, I
Yeah.
think she's doing a little YouTube show with Sherry Shepherd. So shout out to Kim Whitley.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of another icon, the one and only Wanda Sykes. We met
Uh,
Wanda.
I am a I met Wanda. I've met her on a couple of occasions, but I am a fan of hers more so than
Yes.
anything else. And when I first I was with Linnell, we wound up, I think it was after the Trump, we was just out kicking it, having a drink. And this is one of the people I kind of fanned out on, but I
Mhm.
greatly admire her work.
Yes. She is very talented as well. Opened so many doors for so many people. She really did. Now,
Yes.
I think was she one of the first people to have actually at least a 1 hour long special, first female comedian to have a 1 hour long special on Netflix, or I believe it was, or some big network.
I
So shout
think
out to
so,
Wanda
but
Sykes.
I'm
Yeah.
sure, but I would think so. Yes.
Yeah, she's done a lot of amazing things. So shout out to Wanda Sykes, you guys. Now let's look at who we got next. We've got your daughter from Beauty Shop, Keisha Knight Pulliam. Tell me about her.
Okay, well, my only experience with her is, of course, working on this movie. I too have always been a fan of her work since she was a young girl, but she was a great
Mhm.
professional. See, one thing I like when you go on set, the one thing we learned in theater is you got to get with that other person and build a whole life for those characters to help make it real, on TV or stage or whatever. And she had that instilled in her. And I'm sure it's because she had been in the business since she was a child. But yes, I'm a fan, great
And the
admirer of
chemistry
this
is so
young woman.
natural. Y'all had
Yes,
natural chemistry on screen. I could tell that it was just really natural. So shout out to Keisha Knight Pulliam. Now
she
who we
was
got next? We
cool. She
got
was down with,
she's cool.
doing the work that needed to be done.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got Jackie. Now she's another wild
I'm a
one.
fan
Tell me about
too of
Jackie.
Jackie. First season of In the Cut, actually, Jackie was the actress that played in the beauty shop part of In the Cut. So I don't know what happened. I got to do a few episodes with her, and I really enjoyed it because, again, this is someone I had been watching, pretty much after I got into entertainment. So again, I'm a fan of this great sister and her work.
Yes, of her. All right, we got a couple more here. We got the one and only Sherry Shepherd. Shout out to Sherry, by the way. She got her new
Yes,
talk show and
okay,
everything.
yes, Sherry
Work with her
Shepherd.
on Beauty Shop.
Uh,
Yep, tell me about Sherry.
we met back in the beginning of my stand-up days. So we were able to go through that struggle that Black women particularly had to go through when they were trying to pursue stand-up comedy. And we've got to hang out at several different places. And I cannot tell you how I'm happy for her success. To see
Yes.
somebody who experienced the uh, hateism, sexism, particularly, and to be able to rise like that, it's just
Mm.
wonderful. As fan and friend for sure.
And I love, and you guys, her show is so great. I mean, I love the Sherry show. If you haven't seen it, she's the mix of funny, she's the mix of informational. She has great guests. So I love Sherry Shepherd as well. So shout out to Sherry. Now we've got three more left. Take a look at the next
Okay.
person, Adele Givens. Now, this is your baby.
This is one of my hearts. We met at
Mhm.
Def Jam. We automatically became friends from Chicago. I'm from Oakland. We have traveled this whole entertainment, and our kids, there, you know, most of our conversation is still about life and our kids and the things that go on in the world. And
Mm.
that is one of my hearts.
And you've worked with her on so many different things, like Beauty Shop.
Yeah.
You worked with her at Queens of Comedy. I mean, the list goes on and on. So shout
And
out to Adele
yes,
Givens
and we
doing her
also
thing.
did a tour together that most people don't know about. It was called The Bad Girls of Def Jam. We did that
Hey.
tour together. And even though we live in different states, that don't mean nothing, baby, especially now with FaceTime. We put in much time together as we can. That is my
Yes.
sister.
Oh, I love her. Now, you spoke about this next person just a little bit earlier, Queen Latifah. You know, you told me she was a class act, lobster dinners. I mean, what else did you learn from her with, when it comes to acting? Because, she's the actress. I mean, y'all seen her movies.
Not
Come on
on
now.
not the actress, but the business boss.
Mm-hmm.
Female
Yes.
boss. I saw how she ran her production. She was it was a tight ship, I mean, unless it happened out of my eyesight, everything, it was all love on the acquired a crew and a
Mm.
cast of people who were totally down for what the goal was. It was an absolute pleasure to work for this woman. And I still had the robe she gave me, baby, and I don't know what material is, but through 6, 7 grandbabies, that robe is hanging on. Love
Yes.
her, respect her
The
very
Queen
much.
Latifah. I love her too. All right.
Hmm.
Only who now?
What's
Your
up, Old
bestie.
Town?
Yes. Y'all, tell me about Lunel.
It just ain't enough time to tell you my about me and this woman's friendship. We go all the way. Let me tell you the first time I met her. One of the first times I met her, I had just done a show at the Calvin Simmons Theater. We was going to an after party in the limo, and we pull. Who jumps on top of the hood of the limo? This crazy bitch. And I knew I was like, who is this hoe? She is bananas. We wound up connecting. We went to her spot after the after hours. We sat up, smoked weed. When I tell you the first time I hung out with my sister, I felt like I was laughing so hard I felt like I was doing fucking sit-ups. My stomach was so fucking sore. She had me on the floor bent
She is
over.
funny.
And we have been friends ever since. I won't even. This is sister.
Aw.
My sister's name's rhyme. Adele Linnell. We have been through hard times, good times, and I'm so happy for the success she's getting right now. Because when I tell you this woman knows show business, so happy to see her work with people who, when we'd be sitting on the couch, maybe smoking a joint, having some coffee or something, she's all about Black history of performers, in Hollywood. And so to see her to be able to interact with these people, had a phone number, invite them over to her house on, Crenshaw over in the hood, it's just a joy. But my sister.
Yes. And she's an actress too. I don't know if y'all remember, but she was in Borat. I remember when she was in Borat from way back in the day. And then just most recently, she did a cameo in A Star Is Born. So if y'all know that movie, A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, well, Lunel's in it too. And that's what I love about her is that she pops in and out of these movies that you love so much, and she's so funny.
Coming to America
so much
too.
value. Coming to America,
the Rudy Ray
yes.
Moore story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys have one coming out soon too, right? The Two Beats from Oakland. Tell everybody about that project.
Okay. Here we go. This is what had happened. So I had kind of fell into this depression, and I wound up picking up my high-end camera, which was old at the time, and I started venting to the camera. It literally became my therapist. People who fucked me over, I cuss them out in the camera and shit. And the next thing I know, I was out of my room. I was back into the world. I was filming little shit that was going on. I had retired from stand-up, and Lunel was now at a point where she was taking her comedy to the next level. So she was moving to LA. So different things happened. I'm still filming. Initially, we wanted to show what it was like for a female comedian, what it was like for a female actress going on auditions, trying to get stage time and all. Well, different things happened. Lunel wound up homeless. Her and her husband moved in with me and my husband. And we kept taping. And let us just say the things that we wound up taping in it's a slice. Two Beats from Oakland is a slice of our life. It's like you might see us at a show on a Saturday in your hometown, and we all G'd up and shit, and we get to go to the after party. You sit in the VIP, get in the limo, take the home, sometime first class, and get home to a 3-day notice on the door.
Wow.
Oh, it's about what really happens after we get off stage. But I'll tell you this part too about our husbands. I didn't tell her my husband had a crack problem. She didn't tell me her husband had a crack problem. So now we got two crackheads together in the same house. For days, we don't know where they at. We all out in the street. So it's like watching somebody's home movie that they share with you the stuff that may have happened in their home or in their lives. But you can see clips at he's from Oakland.com. That's the Oakland.com. So I'm working on it now. I try not to say about when it'll be finished because this literally has been a 20-year project. But I feel like right now I'm in labor. I'm going to give birth to this baby really soon.
Yes, we cannot wait. I'm telling you, this is gonna be so funny to watch, and I know everybody's looking forward to it. And I know
It's
we could
crazy.
probably expect a little bit of green in that video. You know how much you love to smoke some weed. Shout out to Miss Laura, by the way, y'all. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but her username or her username in here is First Lady of Weed. Now, this is also her weed brand that she's developing. So tell me about, and part of the reason why you came into the metaverse as well, which was to develop this brand of First Lady of Weed. So tell me about what is First Lady of Weed and why did you start it? Because I know you love to smoke, but what was the purpose of starting First Lady of Weed?
This what had happened again. It was the pandemic, right? Things were slow, wasn't no acting jobs. And I said, I've got to find something else. You know, we all need other streams of income or interest or whatever. And the only other thing I loved besides acting and wigs was weed. So I started learning because, you know, since weed has become legal, you know, it's a lot of information that I never knew. I never knew this plant could do the things that it does. So, in a sense, after 50 years of being with weed, I married the motherfucker. And he told me, he gave me a mission. He gave me a mission to find out as much as I can, much knowledge as I can about him. And to take that knowledge to not only new users, but particularly people my age, Big Mama now, who still think weed is dope. To be able to go to them and explain in their language how how this plant can be beneficial to them and help improve their quality of life. So right now the mission is, first of all, for me, learn as much as I can because I'm not fit to open my mouth if I don't at least know what the fuck I'm talking about or I can tell you where to go find the answer. But I would love to be able to share with my family and people, they don't want to be feeling high and shit like that. So if I can help explain especially about the benefits of CBD, which won't get them high, and be able to help some of the people I know that things, arthritis and migraine headaches. My daughter has MS, and that cream was able to help her to during a very difficult time because she's an X-ray tech and her arm would be hella sore shit. So for her to confirm that oh shit, I'm on a mission.
Yes. Well, you know what? And we just talked about this a little bit backstage. I don't want to give too much of it away, but you guys, Miss Laura is out here networking with people, so you can expect something coming out pretty soon. Isn't that right?
Yes, I just left earlier, guys, a cannabis convention. So I was high right before this interview. So I had to drink a little CBD just in case you don't know. High off weed, you could take some CBD and that'll bring you down. But I was able to meet people, and I'm very hopeful about being able to put a product out that really helps people because it's a lot of bullshit out there because it's the wild, wild west. So if you do decide to venture into CBD, look into the company, find out reviews from people who have used it before you do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have something
Your
soon.
research.
Hey.
Yes, and we cannot
Yes.
wait. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you again to Miss Laura, you guys. I mean, she has been absolutely.
Thank you.
We were
My
able to learn
pleasure.
so much tonight. Absolutely. But we're not done just yet, Miss Laura. We got one more game to play. And I think you guys will like this one because it's incorporating two things that we love, all right? Which is weed and shady
Okay.
questions. So let's get right into it, y'all. We're calling this game Puff, Puff, Pass. All right. Now, the way that this game is going to work is we're both going to grab a little joint in our hand. Let's see if it's working. This joint going? Is it working?
Yeah, is it working?
Might need to do a quick reset. That's not working. Let's get a quick reset on that while I'm explaining the game. So the way the game works is, I got a series of questions for you. All right. And if you want to answer it, feel free to answer it. But if you don't, you can puff, puff, pass. All right. So you can puff on that joint and give it a pass. All right. So we're going to reset this MRE just real quick so we can see if it works. And then, there we go. Now I got a joint in my hand. Do you have one in your hand?
No.
All right, let's point
I'm
at
aiming
the ashtray.
little circle.
And your trigger.
The trigger is the one on top, right?
On top. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I hold it, but then come on now.
You got the two circles?
Okay, what? Okay, the circle in the front. What about this little blue triangle? What does that do?
Oh, you don't have to hit that. Just hit the ashtray.
And I'm hitting the ashtray on the circle, but it's not.
So we're gonna do a quick reset. 1 second.
Okay, do a reset.
We're gonna reset it, y'all. And while we're resetting it, can we just get one more round of emojis, y'all, for Miss Laura? Because let me tell y'all something. She has been phenomenal this whole time.
Thank you.
I've been on the phone with her multiple times before tonight. And just to get to know you and hearing your story and everything, you've made me feel more comfortable with everything that I've done, and you've inspired me. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for just being you. I mean, you just inspire so many people, and I'm sure there's more people in this room as well that you've inspired. So we want to say thank you.
Hallelujah.
Yes. All right.
Hey,
Well, this MRI
Sherwin,
doesn't look
this
like it's
thing-
working. Yeah, it's not working, but that's okay. Oh, there we go.
Okay, wait. Okay, we ain't gonna take too long. Okay, so I got the thing in my right hand. There's a trigger in front and trigger at the bottom.
So just hit the trigger on top with the two circles.
The trigger on top. I'm
throw-
aiming it at the little open place.
There we go. Click it one more time. It doesn't look like it's working, but that's okay. You know what, Miss Laura? How about this? I'm gonna sit right next to you, and if you want to puff, we're gonna do a puff puff pass situation, okay? I'm gonna let you puff from my joint. How about that? Does that work for you?
Okay. I got one roll right here. I mean, y'all ain't gonna be able to see it, but I can still puff pass.
Yes, she got one still, you guys. She's still rocking it. All right, well, let's get right into it, you guys. We got some questions for Miss Laura.
I got it. I got it, Sherwin.
Hey, y'all, give it up for Miss Laura. She might be new to the metaverse, but we know how to get our joints going. You already know.
See, I do not like machines getting over on me. If you're supposed to be able to jump in my hand, then come on over here for my hand. Okay. Here we go, Sherwin.
All right, well, let's play Puff Puff Pass for Miss Laura, y'all. All right, let's get into our first question. All right, here we go. Miss Laura, what is the most embarrassing thing you have done on stage? You can answer it, or you can puff puff.
Well,
pass.
I don't know if I would say that I guess I did it. I caused it, but most embarrassing for me was when I got off the stage. Now, I was backstage. Rule, especially in theater, is you do not take the real world and your problems up on the stage. Your job is to entertain people. So some shit had happened backstage, and I took all that anger up on stage with me. I'm in Miami, Florida, where they let people bring in their own pints of liquor. And I started doing my set, and I don't know, I guess my tone, I wound up calling everybody in the audience hoes. And baby, when I say they my ass, they booed my ass. And what was I just cut it loose because I knew it was out of control. It was no way I could get back, right? But the most important part is I was gonna have to walk through the audience to get my money.
That would have been fun, huh? Walking to the audience. I'm sure that was fun.
Embarrassing. I did it. I
Well,
sure
thank you
did.
for answering that one. We didn't have to puff, but I'll take a puff for you, Miss Laura, for that one. Thank you for answering that one. Yes. All right, we're
Okay.
going on to the next question. All right, Miss Laura, who was the biggest diva, Queens of Comedy?
See, I'm gonna answer that one too because you know what? That was actually one of the questions we always got asked, and our answer could only be one of two: either nobody or all of us. Was such a special stand-up gig for me. Is
Yes.
there were no divas. If they put us all in one dress function, have fun, we might fight and say move over bit or whatever, but it was gonna be in love.
Yes. And I know you guys had a great relationship. That makes total sense. All right,
Mm-hmm.
going on to the next question, Miss Laura. See, what is one role that you turned down that you later regretted? I'm sure a lot of cameos have come your way. People have come to you, asked you to participate in their films or their do a stand-up show or something like that. You might have rejected one or two of them.
Well, unfortunately, I ain't rejected shit unless it was something that was out of line. I've had it rejected, but I got a script that was way out of line that I
Mm,
to yeah involved like some man shit, and that wasn't happening. I can't
mm,
say that I've ever had to turn a role down that was offered to me.
mm. Well, I mean, at least all the ones that have been offered to you have been great opportunities. So you've had
Yeah,
amazing
I've
things
been
come your
telling
way.
you, I've been lucky in that
Yes.
sense.
Absolutely. Well, you're on a roll. You're answering all these. Let's see. What's our next question that we got from Miss Laura? Okay. All right, Miss Laura. Who had the hardest time with their lines in Beauty Shop? Now I know you
Me,
didn't see too many of them, but you might have seen a couple of things. You.
me. I probably had the hardest time because I was so nervous. Everybody was on the set. I mean, it was everybody. Alfred Woodard, people, come on. Oh my
Yep.
God. And Della Reese and shit. Alicia Silverstone.
Mhm.
What's that other lady's name? Um, so I did, I had a hard time learning my lines. I would go and I'd learn them, and then I'd get all up and know, kind of flubbed over them, and somebody gave me a key to learning my lines, and that helped me out. But I probably was the worst. Yep,
You
I
know
probably
what?
had the hardest time.
From watching the movie, we would have not been able to tell, okay? Because there were some other people, and I'm not gonna name names, that were in there who, what I'm saying, they could have done a little bit of a better job. But I think Ms. Laura killed it, in my
Hmm.
opinion, because I think she's always one of the funniest people on stage, behind
I
the
loved
camera.
it.
I mean, you really are. Now, last but not least, I got one more question for you. All right, now this one might be the one you might puff up
Okay,
fast on this one because I'm gonna ask you it. All right, who is the one
okay.
person you would not invite to smoke with you? Mm.
Mm. Let me take a goddamn puff because I. Well, I'm just gonna say this: out of 100 people, it ain't one. But yeah, that bitch can't smoke shit me. And I ain't saying a motherfucking name. Let me puff pass. If you know, you know. That's
If you
all I'm
know,
gonna
you
say.
know.
Puff
We
it
ain't
up, pass it
talking
into
about
you,
it tonight.
Sherwin.
Yes,
I
you
passed
already
it to
know.
you, Sherwin.
You know what? I'm gonna take a puff for Miss Laura because we are not talking about that tonight. All right, y'all. So I want to
Right.
thank Miss Laura for being an amazing, amazing guest, y'all. Let's get one more round of applause for the one and only Miss Laura
Uh,
Hayes. Now,
thank
before I
you.
let you go, Miss Laura, I got one last thing for you. Now we
Okay.
can even keep our joints to keep smoking this because at this point in the show we are elevated fully. Okay. Now, my last thing for
Okay.
you, Miss Laura, is what is one piece of advice, especially because some people in the audience might actually be aspiring actors, comedians, they might be wanting to get in the industry. What is your advice to anybody, whether they want to get in the industry or not, about relationships, or what is your last message that you have for the audience tonight?
Okay. I got three messages to three groups of people. Let's start with um, people who want to be in entertainment. If you love it and it's your passion, and go the fuck for it.
Mhm.
Understand that it's going to be a hard road because it's a million motherfuckers with talent, but that don't mean it can't happen for you. But the way to know if you have a passion for something, if you will go get another job doing something else so that you can do what it is you love. My second message is to the felons out there. I want to tell you, fellow felons, that the skills you have out there in them streets doing wrong, in and out of jail, you must be tired. But I'm here to tell you those same skills can be flipped to something positive. If you felon, goddamn well, you know how to count money. There is something that can always be flipped. All you have to do is change the product. My third message is to parents or just the adults, period. We have an obligation to take care of these kids. Put them goddamn phones down sometime and talk to these children. They have a lot they have to deal with in the world that they're in now. Start with your family, your kids, your nieces and nephews. Just encourage them and listen to them. All they want is a hug, them how to defend themselves in this fucked up world. And if you could
Yeah.
spread that to your sister girl or your brother man who got kids, then share that with them. Then maybe we'll have a motherfucking chance of getting the village back. Okay, I'm done preaching.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the one and only Miss Laura Hayes. Yes, thank you so much,
Oh,
Miss
thank
Laura.
you.
You've been absolutely
Thank you,
incredible.
Aaron.
Make sure y'all stick around for just a second. She's gonna be here to take some photos with you guys after. But I want to say thank you again, Miss Laura, for coming on the show. Mwah! You were amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
ladies and gentlemen,
appreciate
give
it.
it up for Miss Laura. Yes,
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it.
I appreciate it.
Amazing. Look at this. Yes. Yes. Oh, wow, wow. Oh, my goodness. Well, first of all, hearts up if y'all had fun tonight because this was, for me at least, by far one of the most fun shows I've done on the Tonight Show. And we've had some incredible guests, but let me tell you guys something. Miss Laura Hayes, she is the real deal, okay? Now, Vad, I know you got some thoughts. You've been up there, you've been listening. What are your closing thoughts for the night?
Oh my God, I tell you one thing. I had to get my headset off and just clean it a little bit. It was just getting really foggy, laughing so hard. It was just fantastic. Such a just amazing episode of season two. You guys agree with me? Let's see some hearts.
Yes.
Have fun. It was fantastic. I've been laughing like nonstop. Kudos. I'm a huge fan of Miss Laura Hayes, and it just I've been watching. I had watch all the videos and everything. And again, been watching them actually a couple of days ago. It's a lot of fun. And but yeah, I mean, great. So how the closing thoughts and stuff. Sherwin, um, one thing that Laura actually said, just amazing. Just go for it. Just amazing. Like this is
Yes.
such a positive message and such a impactful and strong message. And I was used to be actually a very shy person when I was a kid. I was really, really shy. Believe me when I say that. It may not come across at all. But know, I started stepping out of my comfort zone. Lots of great things started happening. And I tell you one thing, guys. I heard this quote actually a few days ago on a reel on Instagram. In a world that you can anything that you want, choose to be kind and to back up your great friends.
Yes.
That's just something that I wanted to share with everyone.
I
Sue,
love
you had
it.
fun?
I had a
Laughing a
great
lot.
time, and I have to agree with you. I mean, her advice about going for it. I mean, that's how I felt when I first saw the metaverse, right? I came in here and I was like, I want to do so many things, but at first you're a little bit nervous, but if you don't just jump right in and go for it, then you'll never know, how successful or not successful it might be. And I've been so grateful to have this platform like the Tonight Show where, Miss Laura, who is packing out arenas and in blockbuster movies is now sitting on my stage talking to me. I mean, y'all can just for a second think about that. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this is somebody who I have admired for so long and is telling me that they admire me and my work here in the metaverse. So, that's why I do these things, like that feeling. And I've said this the other day as well when I was on shout out to DME, their talk show yesterday. It's the same feeling when I get it from anybody else in here in Alt Space or when I get it from Miss Laura. When somebody appreciates your work and they see how much uh, effort you put into it and how much time and energy you put into it. I mean, it really, really makes it all worth it, right? It pays it all for you. You feel impact, which is so amazing. So shout out to Miss Laura for coming on the stage. Shout out to DJ Vad. Shout out to Blue and City and Aussie and our new videographer Blackstage and Soul G, Bigger Better Meta. Thank you guys for sticking through season 2 because we've got a lot of great guests coming up, and I couldn't have been more grateful to have Miss Laura kick everything off for us. So shout out to everybody for helping out, y'all. Now make sure you guys stay tuned because next week we have Dates VR here in the building. So I don't know if you guys have seen Dates VR. They have revolutionized the dating scene in the VR metaverse scene as well. So we're going to be talking to them. Yep. They've been on CNN, Sky News, BBC. I mean, you name them, they've been on it. So we're going to talk to them about all their success with Dates VR. But until then, thank you guys again for coming out. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you guys again. We'll see you next week. Mwah. Thank you guys.
Also,